Has this ever happened to you? That feeling of not being able to get someone out of your head, as if this person has rented a permanent space in your thoughts. It's curious because this usually happens during the quietest moments, like right before falling asleep, when everything around you is calm, but your mind refuses to shut off. Suddenly, there they are again, appearing as if there's an invisible connection between you, something you can't explain. It might not even be someone you see or talk to often, but somehow, this person keeps showing up during your most introspective moments. The big question is, why? Why is it this person who's always there? Let me tell you something. This isn't just a coincidence or a trick played by your subconscious. These repetitive thoughts carry weight, a meaning that goes beyond the obvious. There's something greater behind it, something your logic cannot grasp. If you stay with me until the end of this video, I promise you'll uncover the true spiritual meaning behind constantly thinking about someone. Beyond understanding what's happening in your mind, you'll discover how these connections can carry such profound energy that they transcend the physical world. Have you ever considered the impact of understanding the message behind all of this? Get ready, because the answer might change everything. Before we dive deeper, I want to propose a simple exercise. Close your eyes for a few seconds and think about that person who won't leave your mind. Can you picture them? You might even feel something inexplicable in your chest, an emotion that's hard to put into words. What you're feeling right now is important because emotions are a kind of universal language. The universe has a peculiar way of communicating with us, and when it places someone in our thoughts so insistently, you can be sure it's not by chance. Let me illustrate this with a story. Imagine a cold autumn day, leaves falling from the trees as the wind spreads that characteristic scent of the season. Anna, a 35-year-old woman, was sitting in a cafe, distracted, watching life pass by through the window. She had been carrying an unease for weeks, an emptiness that seemed impossible to fill. It wasn't about money or love, but something deeper, as if a piece of herself was missing. Amid this whirlwind of emotions, a familiar face always came to her mind. A friend from college, someone she hadn't spoken to in years. At first, Anna ignored it. She thought they were just random memories, fragments of a distant past. But the thoughts persisted. No matter how much she tried to occupy her mind, the image of this friend appeared as a constant reminder. It was as if there was some kind of unresolved matter, something unfinished between them. Anna didn't know exactly what it was, but deep in her heart, she felt she needed to find an answer. And what about you? Could there be a message waiting to be deciphered in these thoughts? One night, while trying to fall asleep, Anna felt something different. It wasn't just a flood of disconnected thoughts. It was as if something greater was trying to communicate with her. Suddenly, everything started to make sense. Those persistent thoughts weren't just her own. They were signs, messages from the universe, nudging her soul towards something she hadn't yet deciphered. Isn't it curious how the universe works? Often the people we can't get out of our heads have a hidden purpose. They are there because in some way, we need to learn something from them, even if we don't yet know exactly what. Perhaps they are crucial pieces in the puzzle of our lives, or maybe they have already fulfilled their purpose, but there's still a loose thread that needs tying. Have you ever stopped to think about why someone occupies so much space in your mind? Life is a grand tangle of meanings. Nothing happens by chance, and every thought, every emotion, every person who crosses our path carries a purpose. When these thoughts about someone become recurrent, it may be a sign of something much deeper than it seems. It could be an energetic connection that we can't see, but can feel. Sometimes the other person might be experiencing something similar to what you're going through. It's as if the two of you are connected by an invisible thread, sharing an energy that transcends the physical. Before we dive even deeper into this idea, it's important to remember the famous law of attraction. It teaches us that what we focus on tends to materialize in our lives. Our thoughts are like magnets, attracting people, situations, and experiences that vibrate at the same frequency. So if you can't stop thinking about someone, it may be that your energy is drawing that person closer to you, even if only on a spiritual level. But this doesn't always mean you should seek out this person or create a direct connection. Sometimes, these constant presences in our minds are there to teach us something about ourselves. They might reflect something we're avoiding, or even an internal issue that needs resolution. Perhaps this person represents a part of you that you have yet to accept, or a sign that there's something unfinished that needs to be addressed. Imagine your mind as a giant mirror. Everything that appears in it reflects something within you. When someone occupies this space, it could be an invitation to look at yourself more closely. What is this person trying to show you? Why do they keep appearing in your thoughts? What message is the universe sending you through this constant figure? Many spiritual traditions speak of soulmates, connections that transcend time and space, as if our souls were destined to meet, whether to share something special or to learn an important lesson. Perhaps the person invading your mind is someone with whom you share an ancient bond from other lifetimes, or someone who needs to cross your path in this journey to fulfill a shared purpose. In some cases, these connections can be challenging, but they always push us to grow in some way. Now here comes the big question. How can you tell if thinking so much about someone is truly a sign from the universe or just a desire your ego is feeding? This distinction is crucial. The ego tends to seek control, external validation, while the soul yearns for growth and authentic connections. So when these thoughts arise, pause and ask yourself, do they bring me peace or anxiety? Do I feel there's something to learn here? Or is it just an attempt to fill a void? At its core, the universe is always speaking. It's up to us to learn how to listen. The journey of personal and spiritual growth is like a map full of signs, and many of them appear in the form of people who enter our lives, whether physically or in our thoughts. When someone stays on your mind, it's as if the universe is whispering, "Hey, pay attention to this." This is a unique chance to look inward and ask yourself questions you might never have allowed yourself to ask before. What exactly does this person awaken in you? What do they reflect about your own needs, fears, or desires? This type of reflection opens doors not only to understanding your connection with this person, but also to strengthening your connection with yourself. And here's a truth we don't always realize. The universe is constantly communicating with us. Every thought or emotion, every person who comes into your awareness carries a message, a lesson, a piece of the puzzle for your growth. So if this person won't leave your thoughts, don't sweep it under the rug. Take a moment to listen, meditate, write about it, or simply sit in silence with your thoughts. Sometimes the message you need to hear is hidden precisely within that internal whirlwind. You might ask yourself, okay, but what do I do with this? I can't stop thinking about this person. First of all, take a deep breath. There's no need to panic or rush to act. Acknowledge that these thoughts are there for a reason and allow them to unfold in their own time. Grab a notebook, write down what you feel, or just observe without trying to control it. Often, just by giving space to these reflections, clarity emerges like sunlight after a storm. And if the moment comes to take action, remember, patience is key. Don't let your ego take the wheel or act on impulse. If you decide to reach out to this person, do so with an open heart, with the intention to share, learn, and grow, not to control or impose anything. And if you feel it's not the right time or doesn't make sense to pursue that connection, that's okay too. Accept it as part of your learning and move forward with the certainty that each step is leading you to the right place. There's something magical in this process. Sometimes, simply recognizing the spiritual value of these thoughts is enough to release them with gratitude. You realize that this person played an important role in your journey, and that's all you needed. The universe has an incredible way of aligning our experiences for our growth, even if we don't see it immediately. Now think again about the person who came to your mind. How do you feel now? Is anything clearer? If this brought you some kind of relief or understanding, I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment sharing your experience. Have you ever been in a situation where someone seemed to occupy your mind without explanation, but later everything made sense? Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to understand their own journey. If you've made it this far, I need to tell you something. You are special. No, I'm not saying this just because it sounds nice or looks good, but because I truly believe there's something magical about people like you, who have the courage to explore the depths of their own mind and heart. Maybe you haven't realized it yet, but this moment, here and now, is a small milestone on your journey. It's like being on a quiet summer night, looking at the stars and feeling there's something greater connecting everything, including you and me. I want to share a quick story with you. Imagine a traveler lost in a desert, unsure of where to go. Each step feels the same as the last, but they keep walking. Suddenly, they come across a small oasis. It's not the answer to all their problems, but it's enough to renew their strength and keep moving forward. You, by watching until the end of this video, have found that oasis. Not because I said something extraordinary, but because you had the courage to stop and reflect on things many people choose to ignore. And since we're in this moment of connection, how about taking it a step further? If you felt that this video helped you in some way, sparked something new, or gave you that urge to look up at the stars again, subscribe to the channel. Because just like in the desert, there are always more oases to discover together. Leave a like, not just to support the channel, but because with that simple gesture you're telling the universe, I'm here, open to what it has to teach me. And of course, share in the comments what this video awakened in you. Your story might be the thread someone else needs to weave their own life's tapestry. In the end, thinking so much about someone might be the universe's way of whispering something to you that only your heart can understand. Thank you for trusting me to be a small part of this conversation. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, you are never alone on this path.